Hi, I'm Kat. Welcome back to Beambod. Today I'll be taking you through your front split session. Let's start with a bit of a warm-up. Coming up into a tall kneeling position, bringing one foot forward and pressing your hips forward so that you're nice and open through the back hip. With your hands on the inside of your front foot, we're going to circle the hip around. So we're moving through the different angles of the hip and pressing forward, sinking the hip forward, and we're just circling that hip in one direction, and then we'll change direction. Try to get a bit of that stretch as we come around. One more, and changing sides. Bringing the other foot forward. Try to keep your toes in front of your knee, hands on the inside, and then circle that hip around. Pressing that hip forward, moving through those different angles of the hip flexor. One more, and change direction. Bringing the knees back and bringing one leg forward again, this time in a straight leg position. We're going to keep the toes pointed up towards the ceiling, straight spine, and we're hinging forward and then coming back up, just right over the top of that straight leg. And now externally rotating from your hip, so your toes pointing out to the side and hinging from the hip again. And that will just hit that outer part of the hamstring as we warm it up. Okay, changing sides. So foot forward, toe pointing straight up to the ceiling, nice and tall through your spine, and hinging forward. And then working into the outer part of the hamstring, so toe pointing out to the side and hinge. Excellent. Then standing up, you can use a wall for balance. We're going to do some leg swings. So we're going to go forward, out to the side, and then out to the back. We'll start with our forward leg swings, so you can swing your foot through and then out to the front. Nice and straight through both the supporting leg and the moving leg. And then out to the side, crossing over at the front, swinging the leg out to the side. And then to the back. And then other side. Out to the side, crossing over at the front. And out to the back. For this next section, we're going to need some yoga blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, you could use books or some sort of support that's approximately that size. Later, we're also going to need a bench, or you could also use a couch. We'll move into our first exercise. We're going to set up in a long lunge. So you're taking your foot forward. Make sure that your toe is in front of your knee. You're going to press your hips forward and curl your back toes under. From here, we're going to keep the hips nice and low. We're going to extend the back knee and push the heel towards the back wall. We're going to press this knee off the floor for 5 reps and then hover for 5 seconds on the last one. So ideally, we would do this with hands off the floor. press off, extend that back knee, and then lower it back down. Extend the back knee and lower down. That's 2. We have 3 more. 2 more. And now on this last one, we're going to hover for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. And then we'll change sides. Setting up in that long lunge again, toe in front of the knee. Sink your hips forward, hands off ideally, back toe curled under, and we're pressing the heel to the back wall. Notice that I'm trying not to let my head rise. I'm just getting longer through the hip. That's 3, 4, and 5. Hold there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Excellent. For this next one, this is where your yoga blocks might come in handy. You line them up like this. We're going into a pigeon good morning. So for the pigeon setup, you're going to try to create a right angle at the front knee. The blocks will support your glute and leg, and the back leg is tucked under, so the knee and the hip are nice and square. From here, we're hinging forward from the hip, bringing the chest over the knee. We're going to do 5 reps again and then holding on the last one. You can use a fingertip support, or you can do this with your hands off the floor. I'm going to use fingertip support for this first round. So chest nice and tall, we're hinging forward, chest over the knee for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we hold at the bottom for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming up, changing sides. So make sure that you set up with that 90-degree angle at the front knee, chest nice and tall, and if you're tighter, you might need to set yourself a little bit higher. And let's go for 5 reps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and hover for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming up. Our third exercise, we're going to stand up. You can use something for balance here. You're going to pull your knee up towards your chest, keep your supporting leg nice and straight, and we're going to hinge at this front knee without letting the knee drop. So we don't want the knee to drop towards the floor. Keep it nice and high. So knee to chest, 5 hinges, and then a 5-second hold on the last. I'm going to use my hand as a little bit of a target to make sure my knee doesn't drop. 1, 2, your knee may or may not go straight. 3, 4, 5, and we hover for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Other side. Knee to chest and hinge. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hover for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. And we're going to move through those exercises one more time, starting with our long lunge, pressing the back knee off. So let's set up in that long lunge position, hips forward, okay, pressing the back knee off without rising up. Get ready and let's press off for 1, 2, 3, extend through that hip, 4, and 5, and hover there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Excellent. Let's change sides. Setting up in that long lunge, hips forward. Okay, hands off, and let's press off for 1, 2, 3. Focus on the heel traveling that way. 4 and 5. Hover for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Excellent. Into our pigeon. If you're feeling like you're loosening up, you may be able to get rid of the blocks as long as your knee maintains that right angle and your hips stay square. So your back knee is pointing towards the floor. So we're hinging forward for 1, 2, nice and controlled, 3, 4, and 5, and we hover at the bottom for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming up, changing sides. Okay, 90-degree at the front knee, hands off again, tall spine, and hinge for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Stay at the bottom for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. Excellent. Back into our standing position. Pulling the knee up and hinging at the knee for 1, 2. You might get shaky, that's good. 3, 4, and 5. Hover. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down, changing sides. Knee up, keep that knee high, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hover for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Let's move into our next section. We're using the bench or the couch for this one. You're going to place your foot up like this and your knee as close as you can to the bench. If you're a bit tighter in your hip, you might need the knee further away, but I'm going to set up where I know that I'm comfortable. You're going to bring your other foot forward and then lift your hands off the floor. From here, tuck your hip under, draw your belly button in towards your spine, and you're going to bring everything back towards the bench. So your torso and your hip for 5 reps, and on the last one, we hold for 10 seconds. Okay, so let's tuck that hip under. You're going to draw your belly button in and then send everything back towards the bench for 1, 2, and you should feel this stretch in the quad and hip flexor, 3, 4, and last one, 5, and now hold here for 10 seconds. Try to breathe. Keep the hip tucked under. I want to focus on the stretch sitting right here and slowly coming out. Let's change sides. Foot up on the bench. Okay, up into your lunge. Hands off the floor, belly button in and hip tucked under. From here, moving everything back for 1, 2, 3, 2 more, 4, and 5, and we hold here for 10 seconds. Keep the hip tucked under, keep the belly button in so that you're not arching through your back. 3, 2, 1, and coming out of that. Next, we're going to stand up. We're going to use the bench for the front foot. So you're going to place your foot on. Nice and tall through your spine again. Let your arms hang. Your arms will sort of help you to hinge forward. You're going to hinge at your hip and pull yourself down towards the straight leg. Focus on contracting through your core and your hip flexors to fold your body and pull yourself into that position. We're going to do 5 reps and a 10-second hold on the last. So tall through your spine, pull yourself down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold for 10, 9, 8, 3, 2, 1. Coming up. Changing sides. Foot elevated, tall spine. Okay, contract to pull yourself down for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and hold for 10, 3, 2, 1, and coming up. For this next one, you're going to use your blocks again. We're going into a block assisted split and we're pressing the back knee off. So have a look at my setup before you begin. The block will go underneath the front leg. The higher it is up towards your glute, the more assistance it will give. The lower down towards the knee, the less assistance. Okay, so we can start up higher and then move it down as you feel more comfortable. Here we're going to press the back knee off the floor and we're doing that for 5 reps. This knee can be bent. You're going to grip the floor. So from here we're pressing the back knee off the floor for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's change sides. So block goes under. Okay, front knee can stay bent and press off for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Excellent. Okay, let's move through those exercises one more time. So we're starting with our couch stretch. Foot up into your lunge position, hip tucked under, and we're sending everything back for 1, 2, 3. If you're loosening up, you might be able to go a little bit further. 4, and last one, 5, and hold here for 10 seconds. Good, keep that hip tucked under. Focus the stretch right here at the hip. And slowly coming out of that, changing sides. Okay, hands off the floor, belly button in and hip tucked under. Let's go back for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now hold for 10, 3, 2, 1, and out. Okay, standing up and we're elevating the front foot. Front foot up, tall spine, okay, and hinging forward for 5. Use your core, use your hip flexors to pull down for 1, 2, 3, reach for the floor, 4, and 5, and holding here for 10, 3, 2, 1, coming up, changing sides. Tall spine and hinge forward for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pull down, hold for 10. 3, 2, 1, and up. Okay, into our block supported front split. If you're feeling comfortable with it, feel free to move the block further down your leg towards the back of the knee. Okay, we're pressing the back knee off for 5 reps. Get ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Changing sides. Keep that front knee bent, ready, and press off for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and coming out of that. Excellent. Okay, so now we're going to finish off with a long stretch. It's a hip flexor stretch, so we're really working through the back leg, and we're holding for 60 seconds on each side. So with your setup, we're going to again have the toe in front of the knee, your back knee resting and your foot resting on the floor, belly button in, and using your hips to push forward. We're holding here for 60 seconds. So setting yourself up. While you're in this position, focus on tucking the hip. That will really emphasize the stretch. Keep your belly button in so that you're not arching your back, and hold there. Focus on breathing, relaxing into the position. If you feel your muscles relax, sink a little bit deeper, push forward. 30 seconds remaining. Ten seconds. And slowly coming out of that. Let's change sides into that long lunge position, hips forward, and we're holding for 60 again. Back knee resting, back foot resting on the floor, hip tucked under, belly button in. Focus on all those little cues that will make your stretch more effective. You're doing great. Focus on the breath again. "30 seconds remaining. And slowly coming out of that. Well done on getting through today's session, and I'll see you next time for front splits.